Welcome to the Hoppothetically podcast with Nikki Downtown and Fat Nate. We provide thoughtful and correct answers to probably the most important questions in the world. I'm a New York City-based comedian. Nathan is a New York City-based dyslexic. Thank you so much for being here. We hope you enjoy the show. Hoppothetically, episode 30 with Nick Dizzy and Nathan Jizzy. I just thought of that.
Yeah, wait.
I thought of that just now.
I can tell. It's like very apparent.
When did I write that? Right now. Nick Dizzy, whoa, where am I going? And Nathan Jizzy. Oh, we're doing radio noises this one. Nathan Jizzy. We got a big announcement from the last. We're filming this on a Wednesday. Monday, Nathan Jizzy did stand up for the first time.
Yeah, not Nathan Hopping. When I get up there, I remove that name.
It's
that
a stage name.
Yeah.
It's a whole persona.
I don't. That isn't me. When I'm on stage, Fat Nate isn't who I am.
Nathan Jizzy.
Nathan.
He gets up there and he's like, my pants are there's so much wet happening in my pants. Can anyone please? Can I please? He just asked to borrow underwear. That's his whole act. He's like, do you have any extra boxers, please? I'm up here and I'm Jizzy. I'm Nathan Jizzy.
And what's weird is I don't even say it because I'm embarrassed about that I jizzed myself. That's the weird part. Is that I'm not comfortable with that I am Jizzy.
Nathan Jizzy was a name given to you.
Yeah, I didn't want to be Nathan Jizzy. I am Nathan Jizzy.
But you just keep getting Jizzy. I heard about a guy whose fetish was that he likes to get in crowds and then pee his pants.
That's amazing.
And I forget who this was, but his girlfriend would make excuses. Like she'd be like, oh, he was just hammered. But he's like, not hammered. Just totally sober, calculating the check correctly after dinner and then just pees his pants.
Does he have sex later? Or is it like, how does he get off?
What's the point? The pee.
I don't understand any fetish where you don't come at the end of it. Like,
I do.
What is it?
It's perpetual edging. It's just, you pee and then you pee again and then you pee again and then you have kids and then you pee again. Your kids go to college. You're proud of them. You pee at graduation.
But like that, you said he got off on doing this. What is he getting off on?
The pee is getting off.
No, it's not.
Because he holds it for a long time until the pressure builds.
It sounds like it's not a fetish, just that he has a problem with holding his pee too long. Do you think getting off means getting to pee?
It's peeing, right? Like I got off several times today because I was very hydrated and I had a lot of coffee. And then pooping.
No.
Is...
Yeah,
giving birth.
Yeah, I'm not going to change you.
Little hacky.
Yeah.
Starting off a little Nick Hacky and Nathan Tacky.
Is it Nathan Tacky or is it Nathan Tacky?
Tacky. Nathan Tacky and Nick Hacky. So Nathan did his first set. So we get there. I'm the comedy shuffler. I'm on stage behind all the newer comics as they tell their jokes and I riff and whatever. And so we get there and Nathan's like, I'm not doing stand. He really pussed out. He goes, I'm not doing stand. And I said, Nathan, I'm going to get a Nathan chant going and then you're going to have to do stand up. And he's like, ugh. And so then the end of the show, I'm like, all right, that was a show. By the way, my brother came. He's in the front row. He said he was going to do stand up and then he pussed out. And this woman in the back just starts going, Nathan. And then they get going, and then Nathan gets up and does a set.
What I was angry about was not that happened, but that I told you 100 times I wasn't doing stand-up. And then Katie calls me the next day, and she says, oh, no, I knew this was going to happen. Nick told me this was happening. And I was like, okay, so this was premeditated.
It was definitely premeditated. And I had fun. So Nathan gets up there. He stands up there, and then he can't remember his first joke. He's like, give me a second. And I start screaming at the audience. I was like, that is my brother, and I love him. And if you don't give him a second, I will fight you. Several times, I threatened to fight the audience on your behalf.
I think my story is a story that it's how a lot of stand-ups start. They go to somewhere and then they get socially pressured and cornered into doing stand-up without their consent. Most stand-up is not consensual.
No, yeah. Oftentimes the audience and the comedian doesn't want to be there. Why the show persists, I do not know, but we do all of them.
You would think at least one person is into it. Like they get off on setting up and socially getting everyone invested and forcing to do it, but I don't know if that's the case. I think it's one of those things. They all think everyone else wants to be there and do it. If we all just got to ask, like, hey, do we all want to go home? And everyone could just speak openly, there just wouldn't be any more stand-up.
I sometimes ask audiences who are bad why they are bad. It's a funny question because they all came to the show hoping to have fun. That's why you come to any event. You're like, oh, that's fun. But then for some reason, this particular group of people, the way they mesh together was not fun. And I'll go, do you know you're a bad crowd? And a lot of times they say, yeah, we know.
I don't know. I get it. I mean, I exclusively go to comedy shows to get the crowd to start screaming that I come on, and I don't sign up for any show. I just wait for the crowd to get me up there. I would never
And
do it
sit in
without...
the front like, oh, stop.
Yeah.
After the show, it's always you and the lady who started the chant splitting your $10 and free beer that you get from the show.
Exactly. I didn't even get free beer, which is the worst part.
Actually, you wouldn't get money either if you.
No.
If you're a random.
No.
Spontaneous
I want the audience to want me. So, I mean, I get it. If I would imagine bad shows are actually just a bunch of people that just want to go up there on stage and are waiting for everyone else to chant for them. But we can't all do that. Because, I mean, imagine if what would happen. We'd all just chant our own names. Just be a bunch of people in a room screaming their name. It wouldn't.
Like the pirate court.
Yeah.
Everyone always votes for themselves, but then this one lady votes for Nathan. Could you imagine in the pirate court if someone had started chanting? Like instead of Jack being like, Elizabeth Swan, while everyone else is talking, he's just like, Liz.
Yeah, you can't shout into
No,
it.
it like cut off.
Yeah.
You can watch Nathan's first set ever with my amazing commentary and me telling him how much I love him on our Patreon right now. And tell us, what do you want on the Patreon? Is it dick pics? Because we have those. We just don't know what to do with them. The thing with dick pics is you have to conform them to the medium. If it's Instagram, filters, lighting, whatever. TikTok, it's music and it's wagging. You got to get the dick wagging like this. You shake your hips.
I think are you taking...
These are dick videos.
No.
Dick gifs.
I'm just imagining someone taking a dick pic and just being like, oh, what do I do with this? I have no idea. I took it, but where am I sending this to? I have no idea. And he's just scrolling through apps like email, text messages, like social media. It's like, where does this go?
Yeah, it's like when you're new to crypto and you have a whole bunch. You're like, I know this has a lot of value. I just don't know where.
Maybe that's the answer. Maybe we just put our dicks on the blockchain.
Maybe we put our dicks on the blockchain.
Yeah.
How do you think you would feel if your dick spiked in value? If it was just so volatile, you had the most and then other people's dicks weren't. Just you have a really volatile blockchain dick.
I'd just be living on the edge, dude. I'd be so nervous about the day my dick isn't valuable anymore. Like, then what? Who am I? Like,
everybody's speculating on your dick.
Yeah, my personality. Ever since my dick started spiking up and down, my personality has just become my blockchain penis.
Eventually, your dick's a bubble, and people aren't speculating based on how hard they think your dick could get. It's how hard they think other people think. It's a pump and dump. They're pump and dumping Nathan's dick, if you know what I mean. Nathan never comes. That's how the value would be on your dick. It's how full of cum can your dick get, and then when you come, it's a bust.
Yeah, I was...
and then you bust.
I was going to wonder, I was
boom,
like,
boom,
most...
boom, 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 bust.
I was going to say most cryptocurrencies are traded by, like, the perceived value it will have in the future, but you seem to think it's based on how erect or how much
How full of cum.
Yeah.
The cum's the good stuff. I want to teach an economics class, and when I explain boom bust cycles, I'm going to say the bust is when the economy comes, and it makes a huge mess, and that's why everyone loses their job.
We had a really gross episode last episode. Can we, like...
This is about economics.
What
about future nickname for Nathan, the cumster? The cumster. Stop. Can you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know.
Dumpster full of cum.
Yeah.
Nathan.
Yeah.
Nathan Hopping,
Yeah.
the cumster.
Yeah, we can't... Yeah.
This episode's brought to you by a toilet with a face drawn on the bottom of the lid. Toilet with a face drawn on the bottom of the lid. It's open. Hello. It's closed. It's sad.
I was going to say this episode is brought to you by those, like, you know when you're in the, like, a porta potty and you just, like, call this number for a good time? It's brought to you by them. They are just looking for friends, and this was the only place this is, like, the only place they could figure out. They were like, oh, this is probably the best place to make friends. Like, they tried other things. They went the normal routes like social media and tried meeting local people in their area, and none of it worked. And this is their last resort, and they desperately need your help. Call them immediately and tell them you care.
They all meet up at like a bar. Are you guys from the Porta Potty? Yeah, hey!
Yeah, you're 703? Yeah, I'm 703.
Porta Potties. You take a shit, you turn around to check out what does your shit look like. You were just looking at somebody else's shit. Oops. Somebody else had corn. God, that's how you know it was theirs. All right, talk me through it, Nathan. The game is Duck, Duck, Seduce.
Am I 12? I don't want to be 12.
You are not 12, but the people you are playing with are. You are a camp counselor. These are children. Duck, duck, duck. Hey, no. These are all adults. They were children, and they've grown up unmolested. So there's no weird feelings. Everyone's there, and they're excited. They're jazzed.
I think the name of the game is to do as many ducks as you physically can to just get people really wanting it. And by the time you're at 30, 40 ducks, that Seduce is going to be pretty damn nice. They're going to feel pretty wanted, and that's how you get them. It's like the duck, duck, goose equivalent to negging.
The one you're really going to eventually seduce, you go around a couple times, you're like, duck, duck, fucking duck. I mean, this is a duck if I've ever seen one. Anyway,
yeah.
Duck, 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 duck,
Yeah,
duck,
you-
duck. And you put gum in her hair, duck. How do you seduce them? There's a young woman sitting there. She thinks she's a duck. You've called her a duck several times. You put gum in her hair.
Yeah, I think
You said she has flappy titties. You're negging her. You say she has scoliosis.
Wow.
You say she's not attractive. You say she's a bad person. You are negging her. You say her
her?
family comes from poverty and it's not noble. You say she smells. You say when you see her, you become a worse person. You are negging her. You say the thought of sex with her is so repulsive that you cry. Negging.
I said all that?
Yeah, you said all that.
Oh man, would it be too much to go like, I was just goofing.
That was a goof. Do you want to grab a coffee? Then she starts running. Remember, it's still duck, duck, seduce. You got to get her.
I have to seduce her before she gets back in the circle.
If she sits in the circle without giving you a little smooch, the end game here is a smooch. You thought I was going to go really dirty. Just a little smooch.
It still doesn't feel that consensual.
It is consensual.
I'm chasing someone to get them to smooch me.
Yeah. You can also yell smooch me if that helps.
Do you know what consensual is?
Yeah, as long as you announce what you would like to happen, it's okay.
Yes, no.
I have consented to you smooching me. No, it's all consensual. Everybody's there by choice. It's they're playing duck, duck, seduce. They know what the game's called.
Okay. So I think after I do the goof thing, the next thing is you got to stand right where they would run, just block them off a little bit. So you get maybe a little more time. Not for anything bad, just so you can talk to them more, because you're going to need every second. But it's not like that. Like, you're not blocking them off. They could escape if they wanted to. I'm not
you
doing
probably
anything.
won't hire them on future projects that you maybe would have hired them for.
Yeah.
They can escape whenever they want.
Yeah.
Their career,
May not.
I don't know. But that's the game.
Yeah, that's just Duck, Duck, Goose. I mean,
Duck, duck, seduce.
Duck, Duck, Seduce.
Duck, duck, goose is a game for children. The fact that you got them mixed up is fucked up.
Yeah. I'm now blocking them off, but totally leaving them a way out. From there, I think you just try to have a reasonable conversation mixed with almost an basketball style defensive guard moves. I think it's that simple. Okay, so what would you do?
I would definitely say duck, 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 and then I would in someone's ear, I would say duck, and go around again. Duck, 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 duck.
And then you don't seduce them?
ASM. It's very ASMR. I really go for the. Go for the tingles.
But the problem is now they know you're going for them.
No, then I go for someone else. Everyone else is getting jealous because I'm not ASMRing them.
It's another neg strategy. I really think the problem with Duck Duck Seduce is that the meta game is just all negging.
I would seduce them so well that they would chase me.
I mean, I've seen it among some of the pros, but I don't know if it's really it's a hard strat to pull. Like, do you think you can get it to work? Like,
no. No, I could see myself going in like pathetic. I'd go and just start listing all my flaws. Go duck, duck, duck. Look, I know I'm ugly. I know I don't make a lot of money.
Whimper.
I know I'm not very talented.
You should whimper.
But I will treat you so well. Whatever you want. Whatever you want. You can even have sex with other people. I just ask that I would like to watch. And if I can't, I totally understand.
Between steps.
Seduce.
Cuck. Wait, so you just get cucked a bunch and then you try to seduce someone?
Yeah, so I'm just going around selecting the bulls. I go, cuck, 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 that's my wife. Maybe the game could just be cuck, cuck, bull. Everyone's wives, after they've signed consent forms, stand in one corner, and then all the guys, cuck, 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 bull. And then those three guys sit in chairs in a closet, and then the one guy
plows all their wives.
Well, he's it. He tries to plow their wives before I tag him. Tag! Now I plow their wives.
So there's the guy plowing.
He's running around. I'm chasing him. He's dicks out. He's like, come here, you wives. And they're like, ooh. And I'm like, I'm going to get you. But he's quick. He's bull. All right, there's a baby in the womb, but instead of kicking, it just says things. So you put your ear up to the woman's stomach. You hear the baby go, soon.
Nope. I know the
Soon.
I know the answer. You just get back up, you go back to the Supreme Court, and you show them the weird talking pregnant woman.
It's like Donkey from Shrek. As soon as she's in front of the court justices, the baby's silent. And then the mom starts doing the thing. She's like, talking baby. I love to talk. I'm a talking baby. I'm in the womb. But then the baby gets flight powers temporarily, and then the baby goes, You've seen a dragonfly and you've seen a bird fly, but you've never seen a fetus fly. And then the woman's dragged up by her stomach to the top of the room like she's possessed by a demon, but then the stuff wears off, and that's when the guards with their spears do what they...
If we are still in the courtroom with the Supreme Court justices, I think if they see all of that shit, I think they will understand.
Oh, I think they won't. I think they're like, I see. Our decision stands.
You know what? There is a good point to be made. People were like, well, what if you abort the next Jesus? He would probably be the closest candidate. He flew. If anyone's going to be the next Jesus, it's most likely going to be him.
Is that what people say? What if you abort the next Jesus?
Yeah, something like that.
That'd be even more inspirational.
Yeah. Why would that be even more inspirational?
Regular Jesus died when he was 33, pretty young. But if a new Jesus dies when he's 7 weeks,
I don't think it's gonna, because you would have an old man and a cross, and then you'd have like a hook on a fetus, and you'd have to have both side by side.
What if Jesus is aborted at 7 weeks? And then comes back 3 days later still in the womb. And then the woman just has to give birth to Jesus.
Again?
Yeah, so she did the abortion and had a stillbirth. It was very traumatizing. And then she wakes up, Jesus is back.
And then he just ruins that woman's vagina and then ascends to heaven.
Doesn't even touch ground, just out and up. And then also all these people are like big fans.
They're excited about it?
They're bringing gifts.
You go on a tour. You write a book. And you go on a press tour about how you gave birth to Jesus. I was trying to think of a fun name for the book, but I don't know that many books. So I couldn't.
I don't know what books are called. What are books called?
Yeah, I don't know.
There's Dictionary. There's Tuesdays with Maury. I think that's it. You know, all the words in Tuesdays with Maury are also in Dictionary. If you think about it, the dictionary is the greatest story ever told.
Once.
That's not true. Dictionaries have the words many times.
We should stop doing the podcast really late. Yeah.
What if Jesus is getting crucified and this guy just keeps stopping it? And then Jesus is like, no, you just chill. Just fine. No, Jesus, no!
And then when they try to stab him in the side, he gets stabbed in the side. And she's like, "Oh fuck, dude, I can come back. You're fucking dead."
The guy just takes like, "It's okay, it's all right.
Yeah,
I'm dying for you." And she's like, "No, all right."
It doesn't mean as much.
And the guy collapses, and Jesus is like, "Okay, all right, boys." Resume. And then they try to stab him, and the guy's not dead. He was just faking. He goes, "No!" And she's like, "Oh my god, dude."
He's like,
she just starts to get annoyed.
Yeah. And then the guy's like, "This means so much more because you only live once, and it's so valuable." And she's just like, oh, "Fuck."
They put the crown of thorns on Jesus' head, and the guy goes, "No!" And then he pulls it off and starts licking the wounds.
So he's kind of gross.
He's a weird dude.
And at the end, he's like, "Were you Jewish? Were you one of my like followers?" And he was like, "No, I'm not. I don't believe in any of that shit."
No, this just was fucked up.
Yeah,
I just was walking by and I thought, ow.
Yeah, what about those other two guys, like to my right and left, that also got crucified? And he's like, fuck those guys.
Fuck those guys.
Yeah, that's not...
They're criminals.
Mm-hmm. They're
nothing wrong with being the king of the Jews.
Yeah.
You want to hear a funny Bible fact I learned?
Yeah.
So on Palm Sunday, Jesus rides into Nazareth on a donkey. The translation originally, and I don't know which translation, but the translation that's like an old Greek one or something, was Jesus rides in on an ass, and then it's like, comma, like a donkey. That's how it's written. But when they translated it, they didn't realize this like a donkey. They didn't understand what they were saying. So they have Jesus ride in on an ass and a donkey. Jesus is riding in on two donkeys. Like they're next to each other, and Jesus is like, "Hello, I have two donkeys, for I am the Son of God." One donkey would not be enough. I would crush the donkey with my weight, but then I would forgive it, for I am Christ.
Do you think when Palm Sunday we know walks foot on the donkey, do you think people would still see him in the same light if as he was walking through and they were hitting with the palm, he's like, "No, ticks, stop.
I don't think people hit Jesus with the palms.
They brushed him. I would hit the fuck out of him. I would definitely slam him.
They hit Jesus with the palms.
Yeah, what was a weak
palm fight? Jesus is like, "I hate this. Donkeys, run!"
Yeah.
And then they got all out of sync, and then Jesus fell, and then they just hit him with the palms. Yeah, it's actually a misnomer. People think it's called Palm Sunday. It was actually called Palm Fun Day because they all had a lot of fun with those palms. You know what I think would be a fun amendment for the Catholic Church? Ash Wednesday. Catholics. Here's my amendment to Ash Wednesday. Normally you go up and they do an ashes, it's a cross with ashes on your forehead. I suggest with the ashes, you write Jesus' full name across their forehead. You write Jesus ? And then on their chest, oh yeah, Ash Wednesday. You know, it'd be fun also is if somebody didn't use any kind of moisturizer or cocoa butter, and you saw them and you said, every day's Ash Wednesday for this guy.
Could you imagine a priest going to do the thing and he starts to and he rubs your skin and he's like, ugh, you have enough ash.
Yeah, I don't even need it.
Yeah,
he just scratches your forehead and watches the flakes and he's like, whoo, yeah. Jesus, forgive this guy.
Yeah, one every time. What was the actual question?
Could you imagine a priest with like a huge dong?
Jesus, could we just...
You imagine it? No. Huge. So big you can like make out a bulge under the robes. And the robes are loose. Huge dong.
Okay, what was the original question again?
It was, can you imagine a priest with a huge dong? So big you can see the bulge under the robes? Huge dong.
What was the actual question?
It was, can you imagine a priest with a huge dong?
We can't...
So big you see the bulge under the robes? Huge dong.
Obviously can't add this.
We don't need to add it. It's already in there. It's in there.
No, we can't.
Wait, you think I was going to film something like that later? It's just me in my car on the way to work. Huge dong. Priests with... What if it G's... How big do you think Dad's penis is?
What?
You smiled. Now you have to answer.
What answer would be good to this?
The correct one?
Yeah, I guess
actually, that would be problematic if you nailed it.
Yeah, if you get it right, too big.
Down to the quarter of an inch.
Yeah, if you go too high, it's weird. If you go too low, now your dad's got a small penis. That means you probably have a small penis.
That would be a fun game show. How big is your dad's penis? It doesn't roll off the tongue so easy.
No.
How big is your dad's penis?
At the end, how do we prove it? We show everyone your dad's penis?
Yes. It's blurred, so it's okay.
It's blurred, but you still see the length.
That's all you need.
Yeah, the ruler next to it is not blurred.
You guess, and then the next guy's an asshole, and they just guess like 1 inch longer. And they're like, oh, fucking asshole. If you guess it exactly right, you win a prize.
You win your dad's penis.
And you don't have to touch it. If you guess low, you're still in it. If you guess high, your dad walks out naked. And he goes, thank you, son.
And then he leaves.
If you had to touch your dad's penis, would you touch it or would you smack it? So that way you're like keeping up the masculinity. You could like do that, or you can be like...
Yeah, I was going to say open hand front slap feels...
That's a lot.
That's a lot, yeah.
A lot is happening with the open hand front slap of your father's penis.
Yeah. Kind of a light back tap. It's like a fun...
That's like a prank. Like, uh-oh, gotcha. Whereas this is like...
Yeah.
Father.
I don't think you say anything. What was the original question again?
Baby that talks in the womb. Wow, we got far away from that.
Baby that talks in the womb.
Yeah, so there's a baby, it doesn't kick, it talks in the womb. Someone tries to give it an abortion, and the baby keeps insisting that it's just pasta. No, I'm not a baby. I'm fat. I'm just a fat tummy. Had a lot of pasta.
Yeah.
You wouldn't abort pasta. That doesn't make no sense.
You know, that Alfredo gets you real bloated.
Mm-hmm. You just talk about how it's about to be poop. I'm almost poop. Not poop yet, but here I go. Oh, I feel it. I'm poop.
And then after the poop's in the toilet, it's like, that's me. It's like, it's kind of sounding like coming from my stomach. Nope, it's coming from the toilet
to do
bowl.
Like ventriloquism. That's me. I'm poop. And then you flush and it's like, oh no. And tries to do the Doppler effect. No.
And then it waits for your next meal.
And you're like, I heard that.
It doesn't actually know what you're eating. So it hears chewing and it's like, oh, it's me again. I'm your turkey sandwich.
Yeah, I'm a bunch of nuts. I didn't have nuts. I'm little pieces of plastic. I didn't eat that. Okay.
You're trying to become a writer, and you wanted to write historical fiction, but your publisher just keeps pushing you to write erotic children's books. What do you do? And I'm not saying books for children that are erotic. I'm saying erotic versions of children's books. Like that, like you have a passion and you really want to explain World War I, but you can make the sexiest green eggs and ham.
A sexy green eggs and ham has some immediate and pressing consent type issues. Where he's like, suck my dick. She's like, I do not want to suck your dick. I do not want to on a train. And he's like, we're going to ruin the train. Come on. He keeps it. Just even going to rhyme. He keeps interrupting. Come on. We've been together for 8 months. Just suck my dick. Suck my green dick.
What? You just thought writing the sexy version of the Lorax was just a way to break into the writing game, but that's all they want from you now.
Yeah, I keep pitching. I'm like, what if it's World War II, except the SS was never established? And my editor's like, that's interesting. And then the cat in the hat and the thong comes in. What does he do?
what if the Lorax spoke for the bitches? Like he was a pimp. What if we did that? And it's like, is it still...
Yeah, he's like, everyone keeps fucking these bitches, but I keep trying to save them.
He speaks for...
Everyone keeps taking hatchets to these bitches. It's still about cutting down. Everyone keeps slicing the women. And I, for one, am against that. You know what would be fun? Remember Goosebumps by R.L. Stein? Nobody really read those, except the kids. The adults never read those. They're like a fucking horror book for kids. There's just really sexy chapters in there. Kind of non sequitur, like, who is even this character?
Yeah.
I don't think we've met her yet.
There's a scene about a ventriloquist dummy trying to kill everybody, and then in the middle of it, it's just this very raunchy sex scene.
Yeah, it's just this boss teaching his secretary.
Yeah, and he tries to wrap it in. He has the ventriloquist dummy like hiding in the closet about to kill them, but he waits for them to completely finish multiple times before he comes out and does anything. He's just listening.
You know what would be fun? What would you do if you were watching a porn that you liked, and then right in the middle of it, someone just started freestyle rapping? And then the lights got brighter and the rest of it faded away. But they weren't good. The director was like, "Cut! You were supposed to call her a dumb slut. Why is this rhyming? There's no rhyming in the script." He's like, "I'm sorry, I tried again." What do I children's books? There's Judy Blume. She solves mysteries, right?
Yeah, it could be sex mysteries.
Where is the clit?
That's the only mystery into the
Every
20
week.
books.
Every week it's where's the clit?
Yeah, and at first it's like sexy, but then it's just because she's like a young woman.
She's like, but really, where is it? She goes to Egypt. Where is the clit?
And at the end, she just had to go to her local high school where they taught her about anatomy.
Like, there it is.
Yeah.
She's like, would have saved a lot on plane tickets.
Yep.
I would see what you do as a history person. I would have Judy Blume looking for the clit, which is my specialty. But the backdrop would be Paris, 1939. Bombs are dropping. Swastika on the Eiffel Tower. Crying in the streets.
Judy Blume on the hunt.
Where is the clit?
Where is...
Running away from Nazis, running towards...
And at the end, it's just Anne Frank's diary.
Do you think it'd be successful if I marketed Anne Frank's diary uncut? And I just added a bunch of shit that's not really there, but I just kept saying, like, no, this is the full thing, and it's just like shits and stuff. I was constipated today, but then I had some milk, and I guess that loosened things up. Had to do it pretty quietly.
It's not a story at all. It's just like...
Just the shits. It's Anne Frank's... It's not even uncut. Well, it's uncut.
Do you think
and raw. You're in middle school, there's a monster under your bed. You go, Mom! Mom comes, you go, check under my bed. Mom looks under the bed, sees the monster. Mom and the monster, they start dating. Stepdad is the monster under your bed. What do? He wants you to call him Dad.
Yeah, that's my first thing, which I was going to say. I'm not calling you Dad, monster.
Call me Dad.
Yeah, just because he's not your father doesn't mean he's a monster. His name is Jerry, and he's wonderful.
Yeah, your father's a monster. Everything you say about he has horrible, vicious claws, and he disappears in a puff of red smoke. So does who disappeared is your father. Mom, he eats children. At least he has a relationship with his children. Where's your father? Every day a woman is divorced, she becomes more Italian/Jewish. Where's your father? Mom, you don't talk like that. Where is he? Mom, you're from South Carolina. Where's your father? I haven't seen him in a month. Mom, what even is this accent?
It's like, well, Mom, could you at least tell him to stop sleeping under my bed? He goes into your room, and then in the middle of the night, he just goes back and lays under my bed and hides under it.
You're sleeping, and then your mom and the monster are like making out under the bed. Shh. You're gonna wake Nathan! Mom, you only yell now. I'm divorced! This is the volume of a divorced lady!
That sounds like the parrot from Gilbert Gottfried did.
Divorced women are all voiced by Gilbert Gottfried. I thought it would work out, but it didn't! Ah!
What would you do?
I would try to ask questions about being a man and puberty, and Monster would struggle a lot with those.
I'm worried I'd try to get a priest in there and do some, like maybe it's Satan, they can do some kind of weird exorcism, and he's like kind of on my team, but not in the right way. I'll be like, yeah, we should get rid of him, and he's like, exactly. The Catholic Church does not allow for divorce. This is not allowed under God, and you're like, no, he's a monster. And he's like,
so is your mother.
Yeah, they're defiling marriage. We should get rid of both of them. And he's like, God.
He comes in and he just starts exercising the wrong. See your mom, and he's just like, whore! Whore!
I paid you $50 for this.
That'd be funny as an exorcist. You come in, like as a bit, if you're an exorcist, you keep exercising the wrong person, and you're like,
Got him.
He's on the ground like, oh, and you're like, be gone, devil, just to like the mom. And she's like, it's not me. And he's like, oh, sorry, you're just devilishly good looking.
And then he ends up marrying your mom and fucking your mom. And now you have 2 ex-dads and a priest as a new dad. What do you do then? Do you just get another priest?
Yeah, you keep getting priests until you get
Molested?
It's hacky. You know what's a more original angle is you come down on the side of the Catholic Church and you go, hey, you leave the priests alone. Those boys were being sexy. What were the priests supposed to do? You ever see a little boy sing? That's a unique angle. That's what separates us from other podcasts.
You know Star Trek? You are the inventor of this teleporter and you're showing it off to people and you're trying to sell it. And the problem is they keep asking, like, they're like, we're pretty sure that you're killing that guy and you're making another version of him over there. And that's definitely what you're doing, but you have to convince them that that is either not a big deal or that is not what you're doing. Like, they're like, man, I think that the guy was screaming in agony and then the other guy appeared, looked baby fresh.
Yeah, and the second guy appeared before the first guy disappeared.
Yeah.
There was a moment when there was 2.
We're not.
What's going on with that?
Yeah, and you'd be like, no, like that's.
I didn't see that.
That's not. And you just like your only note is like curtains. I'll get curtains for the teleporters. Good note. And they're like, but is it still killing them? That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about the curtains that I need to add to the teleporter.
What if there was a teleporter that, so you teleport, you hit the button and you phase out, and then like a kind of different guy appears.
Just a different dude.
Yeah. You're like, Nathan? And he's like, nope, just, I'm Chris, and I gotta get back to work. You always are very busy. Whoever comes out is like late.
Yeah, well, they came in the teleporter at a different. Maybe that's how it works. Maybe it's just you teleport in, and then at a random time later, when a different person tries to teleport, then you get to come out.
There's a big, like, a line.
Yeah, there's a line.
You teleport and you just appear in a line.
Yeah,
like,
a queue.
Oh, I didn't know it worked like this. I'm surprised, to be honest.
Yeah.
I am surprised by the line. And there's no air conditioning.
No, it's air
hot,
conditioning,
and you have luggage. You're like, what is in this luggage?
And you look down the rain, you're like, there's still TSA?
Do I have to take off my shoes?
Yeah.
Yes, you
Do I have pre-check? It's like, nobody has pre-check. You're waiting in the line just like everybody else.
You post-check. Once you get through, we check again.
Yeah.
In case we missed something. Do you think if you were at an airport and you found an empty table and you wore a decent outfit, you could convince people you were post-check and you could look through everyone's bag and you could just take stuff? You'd be like, you can't have this on the plane. And they're like, that's money. And you're like, yeah, you can't have money on the plane. It distracts the pilots. The pilots need to be focused on doing their job and not about pay raises.
Everyone knows when you put money on a plane, the pilot just loses their mind. We call it pilot nip in the industry.
Hey, I wrote a joke. Hey, do you get this? This is like a classic joke. My wife, diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. Only one possible way she could survive a little bit longer. It was an experimental trial of a new drug. But the thing is, it was lung cancer, and my wife was a smoker, so they wouldn't let her into the trial. And no matter what, they wouldn't let. I mean, she's a smoker, and and I said, but she's such a good person. And, yeah, but there's other people who are just as good who never smoke, so we have to let them in. Even if we do let her in, there's still no guarantee she may get the placebo. I don't know, but I begged the doctor to let her in. I told the doctor, I said, doctor, take my wife, please. Do you get it?
Yep. Hoppothetically, episode 30.
Hey, follow our Patreon. I'm working on setting it up right now. If you subscribe to our $5 Patreon, you get an extra episode of Hoppothetically every month. If you subscribe to Hoppothetically's Patreon at the $10 level, you get all of our different little mini-series. Support us on Patreon. We are about $1,000 in the hole. We would love to make that back.
Woo!
Nathan hasn't paid for any of it, even though he makes 6 times as much money as me. I also do all the editing and all the jokes. Hoppothetically, episode 30. Thanks, everybody.